there, my name is Megan Wolf. I'm the Young Adult Services Manager at St. Paul's Hollywood Library, and today we're going to be making frozen coffee. I did a little bit of the prep work already. I brewed some coffee and I poured it into an ice cube tray. This is going to need to be done probably the night before, so let me put this in the freezer. Here we have some frozen coffee cubes. I've already used some. I've got a little more. So what you're going to need to make your frozen coffee is, of course, your coffee cubes. You're going to need some milk. I like to add heavy creamer half and half just because it's a little bit creamier. You don't have to do that. You're going to need corn syrup and chocolate syrup and some form of whipped cream. If you're gonna do fancy, which is I'm going for a like a peppermint patty flavored frozen coffee, you're also gonna want a little bit of peppermint extract and some cocoa powder. The only thing you're gonna need other than the ice cube tray and your blender is a wet measuring unit. This is my all-purpose measuring cup, a couple of measuring spoons. I've got a tablespoon, a teaspoon, and a quarter teaspoon, and a mix-in spoon. So the first thing you're gonna do is put liquid in the blender. You always wanna put the liquid on the bottom so the blades can spin freely. So I'm gonna put in about a cup of milk. Gonna put in maybe a quarter cup of half and half, or you can just drizzle some. That's about a quarter cup. All right. We're gonna take a tablespoon of your corn syrup. There we go. And while I'm getting corn syrup off my spoon, it's a little bit slow. Some of you are probably wondering why we don't just put straight up sugar into it. And it's because the sugar isn't going to dissolve as easily with all of the cold in there, whereas the corn syrup is already in a liquid state. Also, a little bit of corn syrup goes a long way. It's a lot sweeter than sugar is. All right. Then you are going to put in another tablespoon of chocolate syrup. And again, if you like your coffee a little bit sweeter, then you might want to add a tablespoon and a half of corn syrup or a tablespoon and a half of chocolate syrup. You can play around with it until you find the combination you think tastes the best. All right, we're going to put in our coffee cubes. I'm going to put in, let's start with 6 and see what the liquid to solid ratio looks like here. You can also, if you are a braver soul than I, freeze espresso cubes and use those. But I am not that brave, so we're not going to do that. That looks like a good amount. Because I'm planning on making a York peppermint flavor, I'm going to put a little bit of peppermint extract in. I'm not even going to use a quarter teaspoon. I'm just going to hold the quarter teaspoon over in case my hand shakes. We're only going to put in a couple of drops. Yeah, that's like 2 drops of peppermint extract. Because the extracts are really, really strong. You will taste them. If you want something really pepperminty, add more. You're going to seal your lid. Make sure everything is covered, and when you press it down, it's not pulling down any further. I'm going to take our blender cup, put it on the blender. One hand on top, because when you turn it on, there's a good chance it's going to go against the lid, and you do not want to clean this up off your floor. Corn syrup and chocolate syrup are very sticky. So we're going to start with a lower setting just to kind of break the ice cubes up. You're gonna go and pause a couple of times. Everything tends to separate a little bit, which is why we're doing it a couple of times to give it a chance to break down into smaller and smaller pieces and have the ice incorporate with the liquid. All right, you can check in the top. Just make sure everything looks decent. There's no big chunks of ice cube floating around. Then you're gonna get a cup. One moment. You're going to pour in your frozen coffee. And then, so I'm feeling just a little bit fancy, I'm doing a peppermint patty theme. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit of cocoa on top. We're gonna add a little bit of whipped cream. And then I hope you enjoy your caffeine, and I'll see you guys next time.